Hi, my name is Dexter, and I just want to share with you a testimony about when God speaks to us or when we pray and ask God for a solution and we don't take His way and decide to do it another way, the problems that we face and the frustration that we go through. I had just buried my wife, and the landlord told me that I'll have to move out. It was frustrating, it was hard. A lot of my friends and family members told me, why don't I go to court because I may have some rights, but I just didn't want all that drama, so I decided to leave. It was the beginning or mid July, and I needed to get out by the end of July, so I started looking for a place. It was going to be tough because I no longer have my wife to help pay the rent, so my budget was about between $800 to $900, and that's a room. I know you can't get an apartment with that type of budget. So I began looking for a room. I also told some of my friends, and I started the process in looking for a room. The process was a bit hard at the beginning because it seems like everywhere I wanted to go, it was too high or the place was not to my standard. But I prayed about it and I said, God, I really need a place because I need to be out of this apartment before August. I remember speaking to one of my mothers from my old church and telling her my situation. And I started, as I said, I started looking and I think I found a place. It was downtown Brooklyn. It was, I think it was 850, which I could afford. And the best part about that place was there was free parking. I had a parking lot just for myself. When I spoke to the agent, he was like, Dexter, don't worry, this place is yours. So filled out the application, made my deposit, and I was waiting to hear word from the landlord. It so happened that a couple of days when I supposed to be making the move, I got the news that no, I can't get a place. And it was like, wow, I thought I had it. But I didn't let it get me down because I was still looking. It so happened that one of the mothers that I spoke about it called and told me, Dexter, I found a place for you. I was like, good, let's go see it. It was a basement, and in the basement was two bedrooms. I will have one and I will share with the other one. And the best part about it is it was below my budget. It was 700 a month. And I was like, okay, let's go see it. When we went to the place and I saw the room, to me, it looked pretty small. And I was like, um, I don't think I'll be able to fit my bed and my chest of drawers in there. So I said no and I walked away. I was thinking about, am I going to be homeless? Am I going to be sleeping on my aunt's couch or my friend's couch? And I didn't want to do that. And I wanted to have my own place. So I remember it was the week that I had to get out of the place. And I still didn't get a place. And I was driving in my car and I pull up to the house and everything just came down on me. I'm someone who really don't cry much. It takes a lot for me to cry. But I remember I was bawling my eyes out. I was crying in the car. And I was like, God, how could you do this to me? I asked you for a place. You see my situation. I need to get out by this week. And I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to put my stuff. How could you just not come through for me like I wanted you to? And I remember the voice clear as day. I've never heard, you heard people say that you hear a voice of God speaking. I remember God speaking to me and he said, Dexter, I got you a place. I got you a place where you could afford the rent. But what did you say to me? You said, no, it was too small. Your stuff wouldn't be able to fit. But I said, God, it was really too small. He said, no, you need to go back to that place. So I dried my eyes. I went on my phone and I called the individual who had found me the place. And I was like, her name is Sister Charles. I was like, Sister Charles, is that place still available? And she said, yes, it is. I said, can I come and see it again? And what I did, I went home, I measured my bed, and I went to the place. I kid you not. The place was just enough space to fit my king size bed and my two chest of drawers. I couldn't believe it. I was like, God had answered my prayer in the beginning, like weeks before, but me thinking that it wasn't gonna fit. And if I had only listened when God came through to me, not thinking that, no, that's not the place, I wouldn't have gone through all the frustration. I wouldn't have gone through all the trials and the tears and the crying and the depression that was coming upon me if I had just listened to God in the first place. Sometimes God answers our prayers like this, but we thinking that, nah, that's not God. He don't answer that quick. He came through, and it was such a blessing to reflect back and see that, you know what? When God speaks, we need to listen and just follow the direction that He tells us to go. And if we should just follow the directions He tells us to go, we wouldn't have to go through all the problems and situations that He foresaw and He seen, and He was trying to protect me from that. But because I was set in my ways thinking that, nah, it's not gonna work. I got this, God. You didn't come through the how you supposed to. It just took me back then going forward. And I moved in. I was able to get my stuff out. I was able to fit all my stuff in the basement. It was a nice neighborhood. The parking wasn't bad. Everything just fell into place because God came through for me. Whenever you hear that still small voice, or if you hear that voice as clear as I did, my admonition to you is listen and trust God. Trust Him because He always comes through. Even when we mess up, He always comes through for us. So I hope that this testimony will be a blessing to most of you out there who are going through something. Trust Him that He will come through for you, even though when He comes through and you didn't take it, He is still there waiting for you to come back. Thank you and be blessed.